SUGARBANA
My brother.
in the flesh.
My brother.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming to the show. So what's your poison? Is it whiskey? Is it wine? Because
whiskey. I like to
whiskey.
drink whiskey.
Yeah, I took the decision for you today.
Yeah.
Anyways, pleasure to have you on the show once again, SUGARBANA. So, how did you come about SUGARBANA? Tell us how you coined that name.
Okay, so first of all, the name SUGARBANA was given to me by my late mom.
Oh, God rest her soul.
Rest in peace, mama. So my mom used to call me SUGARBANA SUGARBANA used to be a name that, like, when I was younger, when you call me that name, I'm like, don't call me that name. That's not my name, because my mother called me that name when she noticed that it was always easy for me to convince people about things that they might not even want. So in a way, she wants to say, call me, tell me in my language, in Igbo.
Yeah.
She wants to say, oh, that I have a mother that's as sweet as like sugar banana. Then she says the word SUGARBANA.
Yeah.
You know. So because of I hated the way they make the mistake trying to say sugar banana and they say SUGARBANA, they made sure they kept on calling me that name.
Yeah.
So it was a name that I've tried to forget about when I was younger. You get.
But why did you hate the name so much?
It's a sweet name, but it was just that I liked the fact that people call me my name Prince. If it's not Prince.
So what's your actual name?
My actual name is Prince Chibike Okafor.
Prince Chibike Okafor.
Yeah, I'm an Igbo boy.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Igbo to the
To
flesh,
the world.
to the bone.
To the world.
What does your mom call you?
She calls me Chibike.
Chibike. All right. Or you are answering the name you hated, SUGARBANA.
It's very crazy.
Crazy.
World.
That's how the world is. So, what is your sound? Like, how did you find your sound, and how do you describe your sound?
First of all, if I'm to describe my sound, I don't know how to explain it in the real life.
Just explaining how you know how to.
Okay, for me, yeah, I see my sound as a next realm, like a next realm sound, because most of the time when you listen to my song, if I'm not talking about love and feelings, I'm talking about motivational and inspiring stuffs on my sound.
Yeah,
you get. So it's like these things don't just come. I know a lot of the time I'm being attracted to my surroundings to talk about a lot of things happening in my community.
Yeah.
But then it's a different ballgame when it is inspiration, like from another different dimension totally. You get. So for me, if I'm to explain my sound, I would just say my sound is like I was the messenger that was sent.
Amazing. Good. So I want to ask you, I've listened to a lot of your records and you speak in the patois lingo.
Yeah.
How do you come about that? Because growing up in Nigeria, we didn't actually grow up with a lot of patois.
Yeah.
So
I fell in love with Shaggy, Sean Paul while I was growing up. I fell in love with their music. I love the way they used to flip the sound. And then while I was younger, when I never took music seriously, I realized that in the community where I was growing up, everybody was trying to sound local. And for someone like me, that I was always in the internet, and I always saw people that were doing big things with music internationally.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking about my surrounding alone. So I started making music that was for the internationals, for culture, linked up with worldwide, diversifying, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like I started doing that since when I was young, always trying to want to be different from every other person. So if everybody was trying to sing Afrobeat, I was trying to do something that I know everybody here loves, but nobody is trying to want to do it because they believe they can achieve to that level. So my own sound, the reggae sound that a lot of people hear from the way I record on my music, it's the inspiration has been there since when I started listening to the likes of Shaggy, Sean Paul, Bob Marley. Cool. Growing up listening to the sounds, So the only way I could do it is to flip the way these people sound, the way I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
to what SUGARBANA would want the world to see it as.
To what SUGARBANA will want. Yeah, so we've been talking about growing up and how that was like, taking it back to when SUGARBANA was a little boy.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was like the first thing that happened that you're like, okay, I think I want to do music? Or did you discover that you had, that musical talent?
Yeah, I did.
At a young age.
I did, but I didn't take it serious when I was younger.
So what was your first encounter with
it? It was still my mother. I will never forget the first day she told me that I have a very beautiful voice, because there was a time that when I never started doing music professionally.
Yeah.
I could always write songs, freestyle songs that people would think, oh, this is somebody's song I'm singing, but these songs I just do them off top of my head, and like even me myself, I cannot explain how it happens till today. You get? So it's still my mom that made me feel like I could really do this. Then I started backing up some celebrities. Then during those times, people like Clever J, Danny Young, they had songs like Connie Love and a whole lot of bunch of hit songs during those times. But I was always these guys trying to help them back songs up and write songs. But then I was more in love with football.
So did you like play football a lot?
Yeah, I played football a lot. That I never thought I was going to sing.
Okay. So would you say if you didn't get into singing, you would be a footballer? Would you say that?
Yes, I would. Because when I was playing football, it was the whole energy that I was putting into my football life that I transferred into my music life.
Okay, so you had that belief in yourself,
in myself. So because when I was even playing football, it was a thing of like SUGARBANA has to like play for my team.
Yeah, you always like first pick.
I'm like so like I thought it was gonna be football. I had back and forth. I fight to my dad. My dad telling me that I was not going to play football. None of his children will ever play football.
But if you were that good, I mean,
my dad didn't care about all those things because he was not educated. So he wanted his children to go to school. Yeah. He don't care whatever. It is just go to school.
Go to school. And that's the thing. A lot of times our parents think that we have to live out their dreams. Like if they didn't do something, they try to fix it with us.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
Yeah. Yeah. And from this experience, I noticed that everything that was my dad did, my mom and everybody did during these times, I later figured that this whole thing was a process for me to find my true path. Because if my dad didn't have my problem with me playing football, he wouldn't have told my brother to come pick me away from the house so that I would start spending time with him. I wouldn't have known my brother had a studio.
Ooh.
I wouldn't have known that my brother had that kind of space, because at the time I grew up not even knowing that I had a blood brother until after a very long time.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
When was that? When did your brother come into the picture?
But like when I was 11. 11. So I had to
So you're saying for 11 years you didn't know about your brother?
I thought I was the only boy of my family after I lost one of my brother.
Oh, really? Are you like same parents or
same parents, same dad, same mom? But they took him away because of stubbornness too. Like, to just go and.
How stubborn do you have to be to leave?
It's crazy, So now the same person now is the person that had to come pick me up, which is my brother. Had to get me to start staying around. I realized he's a good producer. Everybody wants to work with him. He happens to be the Mr. Real.
Oh, Mr. Real.
That everybody's talking about today.
Yeah.
As an artist, then he was basically focused on production, So what I used to do is, I noticed that my dad specifically told him to make sure that I don't play football.
So your dad had an agenda.
So I was like, how will I leave my dad and my mom that I felt like, oh, I have escaped. I don't want to see you downstairs today. If I hear that you came outside, then I'm with my brother. And it now became worse that my brother would lock me inside, go out, and whenever he comes back, he just wants to open the door and see that I'm inside. And I felt like, what is all these things that was happening? Gradually, I stopped developing my football ginger, trying to want to go play football. It was just more about real life for me. Then I started to engage in the studio stuff. Whenever the artists, celebrities, that time, the Green used to come to the studio, Seriki, all these celebrities I was talking about earlier too. So when they come around, I'll just sit down and watch them make music, you know. Then I realized that every time I do a tiny thing in the studio section, somebody just says, "Oh, who just did that?" I'm like, it was Sugar. And they're like, no, put that in my song, put that in my song, put that in my song. And then every time I'm in a studio session, I realize that every time I do something, that person says, put that in my song. You know, so later as time went on, I met Cracker, the Cracker Malo that everybody know right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Cracker, we started making our own sound. You know,
Like when was that?
That was during this. That was like it's been like 7-8 years now.
Oof.
You know, we started trying to like create music, and we were not trying to still make music around that surrounding.
Yeah.
So everybody were mocking this situation. How my brother even got to find out that I started making music today, he doesn't even understand, because he didn't even want me to be about music as well.
Oh, really? He didn't want you to do football? He didn't want you to do music?
My dad didn't want me to do football. My brother didn't want me to do music. Then
why? Why do you think your brother didn't want you to do music?
Yeah, because at the time, I realized that, okay, if I'm going to actually be always locked up in this house, I should be in the studio trying to produce or do something that, like, I see my brother make money off this thing. Then now my brother is not just locking me inside the house, now locks the studio away from me.
Oh no.
You know, so I'm like, okay, now I have to play Master League PS2 till he gets back.
Really?
Like, and my life was just like that for a long time until I realized that I could actually barge into the studio without the key.
How long did it take you to figure that out?
I was angry one day.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot my phone in the studio.
Yeah.
So he went out, he locked my phone in the studio. And then I started trying to call my phone. My phone was ringing in the studio. And he's refusing to tell me where the key is, and I want to take my phone. He thinks I'm trying to look for a way to just be in the studio and produce. When I realized that I was not serious about my phone, I barged into the studio. Then I took my phone. Then I was going to walk around and just try and jam the door back. I'm not like, but this is the studio. And I know that this nigga is not going to come back till night. So what am I going to do? Why don't I just try something? Okay, that day I tried to turn on the studio equipment.
Was it like a standard studio?
It was a proper standard studio. I tried starting up the system. It was a big problem, so I had to just turn whatever I turned on back off. Then I left everything. That whenever I see him in the studio, I would look at him and learn everything he did to turn on the studio computers and the sound properly. Then when I noticed it, when he said anytime,
so you had to like study
him. So all the time I was sitting down, I was no more coming into the studio to down watch artists being recorded. Now it is that I have to be in the studio to watch my brother do what he does without him knowing.
Mad.
Because I felt like he would have wanted me to actually just know that. Do you understand? Because it's knowledge. You get. Yeah. But he was keeping that away from me. So I learned.
Do you think he was doing all that for a reason? Like, was he protecting you from something?
Yeah, he was doing that to protect me from whatever he thought my parents were trying to take me away from that where they took me off from. Do you understand? Yeah. So whatever he was doing, he just wanted me to just be the brother that he's always cared for. And I didn't know how to be like that because I grew up thinking I was the only one. Now. So it was crazy. So then I started producing gradually. Then when he comes back, I just take my phone and I'll just play him something from my phone. I'll tell him to listen to it. He says, it's a beat. I'll say, that you should listen to it. Like, who sent the beat? I'm like, you say this beat, the beat sound too Yankee. No.
But you're the one that did it.
But I did it. I don't always tell him that I was the one that produced the beat.
So wait, you produce a whole beat under a day?
Yes. Sometimes it don't even get up to a day. Sometimes it takes 1 week to make a beat, depending on your vibe.
Yeah.
For production, So, I started recording myself Then one day I made a song called I can't remember, but I remember it's like "You're so beautiful and the way you are." Can't really remember. Then I started. I recorded those songs. Then during that period, I played it for him in the midst of his friends. Then one of his friends that Kenny's music just signed, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Tony now said he wants to take a verse on the song. Well, my brother was still looking at me like, was I the one that was actually really singing?
Like he was confused.
His friend was there struggling to be on the song, and even me, I was like, but like, you sit down, man, and they are pulling my legs, you know?
Yeah.
So like, it was really a jam, you know? And I started recording. My brother didn't stop me from going into the studio anymore. He started allowing the kids to the studio.
So he started believing in you.
He started believing in me. Then I started producing and making money off production in the same studio. That like when he comes back, I gave him the studio section money.
Oh, so studio section money.
Money. Then he gives me a percentage. Even though I've built my client more than what you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I started making money off production and making music on my own that they didn't want me to make. So the only person that told me go make music, still my mom.
Oh, so how did she get back into it? She knew your progress in all of this.
She knew about when I was playing football. My mom was the only person that was really supporting me. Like my coaches would come to our shop, they would collect money. Like she was ready to do anything to just make me happy.
Yeah.
So when it was about the music, it also even when she and my dad plotted with my brother to take me away from everything, I still did music, even though I didn't do football. So all the time that I was being stubborn all over everywhere, trying to get music done. You know how the music hustle is.
Yeah.
It separates you from family, friends. You're up and down trying to get something to do to get this music out there. My mom was trying to create a bond back with me. Like, oh, okay, I understand we left you with your brother, but like try and now be coming to visit us now because it's not looking like I went rogue.
Yeah. She started to miss you.
They started to miss me, and then it became so difficult for them to, like, for me to always like go and see them, you know, until.
But did you though?
Yeah, sometimes I did, but it was just my mom because while I was
it's like
growing
you
up, while I was growing up,
mentioned your mom a lot.
Yes,
you must have been like
it was
really,
it was
really
me and my
close with
mom.
her.
It was only me and my mom. Even when my dad was there, my mom was the one that did everything. She was basic. I noticed that my mom focused on trying to help my intellectual, like the kind of conversations she tries to have with me. She don't have that conversation with anybody in my family. Do you understand? Even my dad, it happened. Do you understand? But she has some conversations with me because she knows that there are some things that I do that my dad don't know.
Yeah.
That she covers as a mom. Do you understand? She covers all those things. So before I lost my mom in the hospital, you know, rest in peace, sweet mama, you know, she told my siblings to come call me.
Yeah.
When she was sick, you know, that I should come to the hospital. So apparently I just left the hospital. So now they're coming to meet me back in the area to tell me my mom said I should come, that nobody could reach me. So when I went back to the hospital, I saw my mom struggling for her life. You know,
Wow.
One of the deepest moments of my life. But inside of my mother's struggle, she held my hand and told me that I should not stop doing music. She could have told me to go and make money. She could have told me to go and do something. She would have told me to go to school. She would have told me, but the only thing my mom told me was that I should not stop making music. But this she said in Igbo, in my tribe.
Yeah.
You get. And after she said what she said, I was really bothered. I was trying to tell her that nothing will happen to her. Then a lot of things started happening. They started talking about blood donation in the hospital. When I realized that in all my siblings, it was my own blood that
would save her. That was a match.
That was a match. Nowadays, I had to donate 4 bags of blood or something. So first of all, immediately I told them to take 2 bags from me first. First, let's start with that one. So, of which that almost costs a lot for me. But that's a long story, you know. So, but at the end of everything, you know, I lost a very, very great woman in my life,
God rest her soul, man.
and if for anything I cannot even stop doing music again. Like it is the only thing that is holding me down. It is the only thing that keeps me guilty. It's the only thing that makes me feel like you owe the world. Like this music is the only thing.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Even if you like the fact that your mom completely believed in your vision when it came to music,
Yeah.
and that was like one of the things she wanted you to do, even
Yeah.
in her last breath. Like
She
you just
did
have
that,
to.
and I didn't know I was going to lose my mom 30 minutes after.
30 minutes after.
After she said that.
Wow.
I'm not sure it was even up to, but 30 minutes, like. So my mom alone for me cost, it was like that alone damaged me. Like she was my best friend, my everything. When the whole world turns their back against me, she's the only person I run to. She's the only person that will hold me and tell me that I have somebody.
Yeah. So how did you come back from that? Like, because I know you must have been, hurt and down for a while. Like, how did you find your way back?
I had to, because the experience made me do a lot of things that I never thought that I would do in my life. Like I went through a dirty part of my life.
Yeah, the sunken place.
You know what I'm saying? Like I did the drugs that now when I see people do, I'm like, oh God, I have to start advising people for a while to tell them how I went through that part.
Yeah.
Like it's not a good part. Like it was a big deal. He almost stopped everything.
Yeah.
It was God that came and intervened when I didn't even know. And it was nobody. It was just time, and everything began to happen how it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I had to do this for my mom, for myself. Like all these things can't be for nothing.
Yeah. So did your music play a big role in that, like saving you and giving you that consolation?
Yeah, it did. It did. Because when
did you sing about it?
Yeah, I did. That was when I recorded Win the Fight.
Win the Fight.
Yeah. As long as you live, you can win the fight.
You can win the fight. So the lyrics of that song really touched about your healing and coming out of your
it was about
everything.
Coming out of my shell, all the whole problem, all my past have passed away. Like, like I had to like take myself away from everything that I knew.
Yeah.
Into something else totally. So like it wasn't easy for me.
So in all the songs that you've recorded, which one would you say you connected with the most? Like when you recorded it, you felt it in that abyss in your soul that you're like, okay, this is it. This is really it.
Okay, so so for me, basically, if what you meant was like you're talking about like the song that I felt like was the hit, or this was really the song
let's talk about the song that you connected with first.
Okay.
Before we talk about the song that you really like, okay, this is gonna blow.
Okay, so a lot of the times I record my songs, I'm always connected. Like I'm always connected with all of my songs. I'm connected with all of my songs.
So you don't have a favorite? You definitely have a favorite.
A favorite song. All my songs have my favorite songs.
All
because every time I record a song, after the last song, it's always a harder drum. It's like every time it just gets harder and harder.
So do you like have a process that you record your songs? Like, do you have to, get in that space where you're listening to another songs, you're drinking, you're smoking, that kind of thing? Do you have a process or you just randomly write stuff down, or you freestyle and you find your path in that song?
Okay, so for me, I get my vibes in two ways. Yeah, so one of the ways I get my vibes is sometimes I intentionally go to the gathering of my friends or the gathering of people that I might not know. But obviously, I would not go and sit in the midst of where something harmful will happen to me. I just listen to people talk. Sometimes it is not even what the people is saying. It's the way people feel about a particular situation.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So the feeling alone itself is enough for you to make it sound, because then it's relatable to somebody out there. And when people start to feel things about life in a particular type of way, there's high tendency that it's not only one person that feels this way. Somebody somehow have felt this way before. Nobody can say, oh, I'm the first to have been heartbroken. Nobody can say, oh, I'm the first person to have been shot by a gun. But when you still sing about it, it still connects to the few people that have experienced this particular incident of their life. So it's like a reality check for them.
Yeah.
So for me, my music, I try as much as possible to make my music connect to everyone in every way.
So there's no particular demographic.
Yeah, there's no particular demographic. Like
so
sometimes
you make music for.
Sometimes I'm just playing game, and I just feel music, and I'm like, I want to go and make music. And once I just say I want to make music like that, I must go and find the studio. Sometimes self-inspiration comes and I don't ginger it. But all those times I know that, this inspiration that came, I know within myself that the fact I didn't ginger this beat has cost me one track that would have been a legit banger, but I was lazy. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's the other dimension. I told you it was two. Sometimes it's from real life experiences, but a lot of the time it's just music inspiration from nowhere. It just comes and takes me. And when it takes me, it is the realm that I am that I start to talk from. I might be in a realm where I'm being sent to deliver a message to somebody deep down inside Togo, deep down inside California, maybe one person. But every other person will hear this song and love this song so much that they don't know why. But this one person, wherever this person is, would hear this song, and this song will be everything that it is.
You sound like someone that believes in the spirituality of your music.
Yes.
So do you believe that your music has a divine intonation, like a spirituality towards it?
Yes, a lot of the time. Because when I hear my songs, I hear a kind of command, and it's like an angelic command. It's like an army. It's a voice. It's just one voice, but it's like listening to a whale cry inside the deepest ocean.
Yeah.
Do you understand? In its deepest feeling. So
that's
there is
deep, because you talked about a whale, you talked about the ocean, and you talked about the deepest part of the ocean. So that's that's as deep as it can get.
Yeah, so it's really deep. It's really deep for me, man. I don't just go to the studio and say, oh, because of everybody's talking about I love rice, I want to go and sing about I love rice.
Yeah, nice. So is there like any artist that you really connected with your sound, or like that helped you find your own sound by connecting with their own sound?
Yeah, Sean Paul, most especially Sean Paul. When I started listening to Sean Paul, I'm like, God, how can somebody flip music like this? So when you were talking about my patois sound,
and
I'm like, the thing is these guys that make reggae music and patois, Sean Paul is not is not a Jamaican reggae artist, but there is this patois reggaeton that he flips the song with, and it's like he's saying pure English, but the tone is delivering, the sounding is different. So I love that because it is easy for him to connect with everybody in different places, because now they can see that this is this guy's style because it sounds reggae, patois, but he's saying his word in plain English, and the melodies and rhythm that comes with them, you know. So it was so easy for me to like, oh, I listen to this guy a lot. Let me try and sound like this guy, and I'm trying to sound like this guy. I realized that I can do more than just sound like this guy. Do you understand? Like Sean Paul.
Amazing artist.
Yeah.
I mean, he helped you find your way. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
So, like in Nigeria now, you obviously have collaborated with a few big names.
Yeah.
So how did you get in touch with them? What was the process like?
For me, my trying to get in touch with artists on the project that I'm working on has never been stressful for me, because a lot of the time, all I just need to do, because of how long that I've been in the game, a lot of these artists already are aware about the brand SUGARBANA. Do you understand? So as long as you've been in the game for like 6 years, 7 years now, one way or the other, you would have come across the name SUGARBANA. So even when I get contacts of these celebrities without meeting them, and I call them, and I'm like, hello, this is SUGARBANA, there's always a kind of response like they already know me. Like they don't talk to me like, who's SUGARBANA? Like when I say SUGARBANA, like, oh, SUGARBANA, what's up? You know, it's almost like when I'm trying to say, oh, I want to put you on my track, you're already telling me about, oh, you heard one of my jam from that somebody featured me, and you're a fan, and you know, it's always
so
easy.
Basically your work speaks for itself.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So it has never really been stressful.
Nice. So like, let's say if you were stuck on an island or anywhere, like in an abyss, and you had just 3 albums, what 3 albums would they be? Apart from your own, obviously. We're trying to see the kind of, songs you listen to outside of your own.
Okay.
So just 3 albums. What albums would they be?
I would say what's this? Distant Relatives
By what?
by Damian Marley and Nas. Yeah, I'll say who else? What's this? Fouls. The album he dropped. What's this Fouls album? He dropped the last one.
I can't remember the
Yeah,
name.
that's what I'm stressing.
That album though.
That album, because there's too much message going on in that album that people are not trying to listen to.
Yeah.
To get, I'm a fan of his music too, Fouls. I'm a fan of his craft. Album.
Okay, let's do songs then.
I'm not really an album guy. I listen to all the songs, but like, you get.
Yeah.
You can start picking out the songs. I can tell you, oh, this is who sang these songs, but album,
That's Fouls, I think.
Yeah, Fouls.
I think his last album is it Moral Instruction.
That Moral Instruction is the one I'm talking about.
That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really nice. Really nice.
So is there any artist that you're looking forward to collaborate with, or that you want to collaborate with, but you haven't yet, obviously?
Everybody that knows me knows I want to work with Damian Marley.
Why Damian Marley? What is it about his sound? Is it the fact that Bob Marley is his father?
No, the fact that the way he delivers his craft, like if Damian Marley is talking about this bottle right now, the way he describes this bottle, it describes this bottle in the most beautiful way that you want to go and raise this bottle and look at it and is this not just this bottle?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knows how to really, really do the music the right way.
Yeah. Amazing. So, all right. So we've gotten down to the climax of the conversation, and obviously I have to ask you if there's anything that you want to say that I haven't asked you. Like, obviously I know you have upcoming projects and you have an EP, that's just dropped. So like what can you say about it, like the making and everything?
Yeah, first off, trying to put the project A Taste of Sugar trying to put it together wasn't easy with the team and everything that we did.
Yeah,
but I'm very, very proud about how everything has turned out, because the project itself has opened doors to great things, and there's a lot that even you yourself you're going to notice about the SUGARBANA brand that is your guy that I don't really want to talk too much about right now.
Yeah.
But rather we just, as time goes,
Sure. Okay, that's cool. Man, amazing conversations I've had with you, man. Cheers. Thank you for coming on the show. Mm-hmm. So how can we find you online?
Yeah, through Instagram, I am SUGARBANA. Instagram, I am SUGARBANA.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, I am SUGARBANA_. TikTok, I am SUGARBANA. Triller, I am SUGARBANA.
Everywhere, I am SUGARBANA. That's it. That's just it.
I am SUGARBANA.
Okay, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, imagine.
I hope to see you like in high places, in the best
more.
places. So to more greatness, to more awards, recognition, that kind of thing. So yeah, all the best, bro.
Yeah. So, and you said that if there's something that I didn't share. Yeah. So this is what I didn't share. This what I'm trying to talk about right now is off real life, and it's an advice that I'm gonna be giving anybody that has ever been a victim to depression from the purity of what they don't even understand how everything started. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When everybody thinks that, when that person thinks that the whole world is falling on them, let that person look at the whole world and put his or her 2 toes on them and stand like a god.
That's deep. Oof. Anyone that's listening, I hope you can decipher that message that SUGARBANA just dropped right now. But it's very powerful if you can connect.
We can
that.
do a lot.
So it's just basically, getting back on your feet. After you've been in that space where,
because in life there's room for failure.
There's always room for failure.
Yeah.
There's always room for improvement.
Yeah, never say,
don't never say never. Always
try. Try. If not for anything, SUGARBANA should at least be a motivation to these people. Try.
Yes, never give up.
It's not easy. People that are closer to you are the ones that want you down. Like, you have to be very, very careful and never give up. It is about you. And once everything is all set and done, it is still you that will be there looking out for you.
That's deep. Thank you for dropping the gems, SUGARBANA. Yeah, I've had an amazing session, and I'm glad to see how far you've come. With the rigors and vigors of life, and we're still just kicking it. And you're here today, you'll be way up there tomorrow. So, powers for life, bro.
Imagine.
Powers. Cheers.
Powers to us.
Powers to us.